Good day and welcome to today's Living Word. I'm Dwayne Matz. We're continuing in the book of Isaiah today, chapter 11, looking at verse 10. Isaiah writes, "And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, who shall stand as a banner to the people, for the Gentiles shall seek him, and his rest dead." So Isaiah shifts gears here and now speaks about the first coming of the Messiah when he says, there shall be a root of Jesse. This root, the Messiah, will, quote, stand as a banner to the people. Now, a banner is a rallying point. It's a pennant. It's a flag raised up on a pole. And I believe here a picture of the cross, because the cross is the rallying point of all of Christendom. Jesus said this about himself being lifted up as a banner in John 12:32 and 33. He said, "And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all peoples to myself, including the Gentiles." This, he said, signifying by what death he would die. So the cross is what we preach. And it's this message that will draw the Gentiles unto Jesus. 1 Corinthians 1:23 says, "But we preach Christ crucified to the Jews, a stumbling block, and to the Greeks foolishness. But to those who are called, both Jews and of God." Those who receive Jesus then enter into his glorious rest, as Isaiah calls it. No more striving to work your way into paradise, but rather resting in Jesus and his finished work on the cross. Let's turn to Hebrews chapter 4, beginning at verse 1. Speaking of this rest, "Therefore, since a promise remains of entering his rest, let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it. For indeed the gospel was preached to us as well as to them, but the word which they heard did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in those who heard it. For we who have believed do enter that rest, as he has said, 'So I swore in my wrath, they shall not enter my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world.' For he has spoken in a certain place of the seventh day in this way, and again in this place, 'They shall not enter my rest.' Since therefore it remains that some must enter it, and those to whom it was first preached did not enter because of disobedience, again he designates a certain day, saying in David, 'Today, after such a long time as it has been said, today, if you will hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. For if Joshua had given them rest, then he would not afterward have spoken of another day. There remains therefore a rest for the people of God. For he who has entered his rest has himself also ceased from his diligence to enter that rest, lest anyone fall according to the same example of disobedience." The glorious rest of Christ. Striving for your own salvation in your own strength? Well, listen, look to the cross. Look to the cross and see the root of Jesse paying the price for your sins. Receive the risen Lord and enter into his glorious rest. I'm Dwayne Matz, and that's today's Living Word.